We are
Last week you look
live.
smarter than you are.
What'd you say, Gary?
You know what I said.
You trying to
Make
slip,
it do what it do. Gary's
Trying to slip
rocking the
it in
U
there.
gear, especially after Mario Cristobal roasted Kirby Smart.
That was hilarious.
Oh man.
What we rocking tonight? JQ, what you got on, my guy?
Listen, I got the Kings jersey from my man Sydney. Hope he gets
There it
help soon.
Yeah, he's supposed to be out for 4 weeks, right? Is that what you're hearing on the word on the
It's at
street?
least 4 weeks.
They
so.
said at least 4
At
weeks. Could be
least
longer.
4 weeks. Wow,
Yeah.
man.
That's a big
Yeah,
blow,
when-
man. You know, some of these guys gonna think twice about competing in the Olympics in the middle of the season.
Yeah, not a
Because
good
you
look.
look
Yeah.
at Kevin Fiala for the Los Angeles Kings. He's out for the year, and the Kings, and you know, as of now, they will still miss the playoffs, but they're close though.
Yeah, no, it's bad.
They could have went on a run. Never know.
Like you said, what you rocking? What you rocking, Rob?
Got the LSU gear. We don't wear our purple jerseys often. We normally wear the white, but hey, I got the purple on tonight.
Shout out to I got the
Oh,
Hawaii.
Vikings.
I was the Vikings. We never know, man. We never know. Shout out to like I said, the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors rocking this. Shout out to my cousins that their birthday. Jocelyn's birthday was the 12th, and my other cousin's birthday's coming up too. So they're from Hawaii. Got to show them some love. So that's what we do here. So man,
All 50 states, right, JQ?
No,
Covered,
man,
man.
I was like, at least you took that damn Indiana shit off.
What'd you say? Big Ten, man, championship. I got it right here. Oh snap! Let's go. Let's
No,
go.
you got to listen. That dude there, boy. Where's Waldo? He got a jersey for every piece of day of his life.
Who is that?
Rob? Who Rob?
Andre?
No.
Why?
Rob's got all the
For 3.5
jerseys.
weeks, I'm wearing this Rainbow Warriors sweatshirt. You are wild.
Hey man,
I got some Hawaii Rainbow Warrior gears too, believe it or not.
What?
I do too.
What? Yeah, we were just talking about Yakima, by the way, JQ, man. It's been an interesting pre-show, if you will. But let's have some fun, man. There's a lot of things that got in. We see a lot of things to get into. It's been a crazy week. Appreciate you guys. We always like to go around the horn, as they say, check in with the fellas. So that is what we're going to do really briefly. As always, JQ is looking very studious tonight. How you feeling tonight, man?
Listen, like I said, I wasn't trying to make a statement. I'm trying to get used to it. They said, you know, we can wear the bifocals with the line. I said, listen, we're not going to do that. So,
Yeah,
Okay,
you drew the line.
yeah, no,
Oh,
just
man.
go ahead and let me have the progressive lens. So I'm trying to get my eyes adjusted used to it. So I'm trying to wear them so I get used to it. So no real reason behind it other than that's what happens when you're 48 and ready to be 49 this year. But outside of that, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
You wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you? No, not at all. Hey, I'm not laughing because pretty soon I'm kind of squinting like, here we go. Got to have the big font on the DJ gear, man. It's all good. Hey, let's have some fun with this.
Welcome to the club, JQ. I've been wearing glasses since I was like 5 or 6 years old.
This guy.
Me too.
Gary doesn't wear glasses. You don't wear glasses for the show, though.
No, because I'm nearsighted, so this is fine.
Gotcha.
Anything other than that, they're right here in case I have to walk somewhere.
Uh-oh, here we go. Y'all are wilding tonight, as JQ says. Hey, Rob Ford, how you feeling, man? It's always good to see you, man.
Doing great, man. Hey, in Tucson, Arizona, man, every other restaurant is Mexican food, man. So I had to eat some Mexican food. You walk down the street, there's Mexican food, there's Italian, there's Mexican, there's American, there's a Mexican, there's Indian, there's Mexican, there's Chinese, there's Mexican, there's Japanese.
And not one of them had asparagus enchiladas.
No. But
That's
y'all
hilarious.
get my point. Every other restaurant is Mexican here.
Yeah.
I love Mexican food though, so I got to go check that out then. I do.
Absolutely.
Oh, we love it. Gary, how you feeling, City man? What's going on, sir?
I'm feeling good. I'm ready to buy new kitchen cabinets already. Bought a new home, and now we're buying new kitchen cabinets. So yeah, it's great.
Oh, let's
Wow.
go.
Ooh, man.
Big money.
Man, you working real hard, boy. You probably missed Delta.
You need to come
Like,
back and
please.
get that bonus.
Like,
You know, I'm missing it.
Oh, goodness gracious. We're having some fun. Hey, Richard, we got your text. I'm trying to make sure the comments are coming up too, so we'll get that going. I see it. Yeah, he basically said, "Good evening, gentlemen." So we appreciate you. I know there's some new orientation happening, so we'll figure it out as always. But really quickly, we appreciate you guys joining in as always. Richards, Marcy's, Jill's, all of that fun stuff, showing us some love. Dukes, everyone, we're having some fun on this again, February 26th, day of the Talking Sports, the 12th man. We've got the little crawl. Where to follow us on Twitter, X at the number 12, THMAN Sports. A lot of love for that format. Also, follow us on Facebook, where a lot of you guys are watching us, Facebook Live, which is Talking Sports, the 12th man. And we are on YouTube, another 12th man sports. We appreciate you guys following us in all of those arenas. We're having some fun. Let's get to it tonight. We got a lot of things to talk about. Right off the bat, I love the fact that for the topics, Rob used one of JQ's lines that UConn monkey stomp St. John. It was basically a defensive masterclass, right? So they held the Red Storm to just 40 points, 22% from the field. They went St. John's. I just went 17 minutes without a field goal. Man, that's just insane, man. So I guess we can talk about that. Was it Terrence Reed Jr. dominated 20 points, 11 boards, 6 blocks? What do you think about that, guys, off the gate?
Well, when Danny Hurley has been successful at UConn is when he's had an athletic big, right? When he had Condon that's playing with Portland right now, right? And Reed is starting to play at a real high level, as Andre just talked about, right? And Alex Caravan, who's probably going to be a first-round pick. And then, of course, Braylon Mullins, who's been one of the best, even though he didn't really have a great game last night, only about 9 points, he was 3 for 9 from the field. But he's also been one of their best shooters, and also going to be a first-round pick. But I think Reed has been the difference, right? I think he's going to have a huge impact like he did last night for them to have another run toward a possible Final Four or possible championship, which at the way they're playing right now, they could be a team to be reckoned with come March.
Listen, you're talking about somebody on a 13-game winning streak. When you miss your last 24 shots, that is insane. Can you imagine being a fan of your team and watching them? Because at some point you just start counting. It's like, am I tripping? Or have they missed like 13 shots in a row and then it gets to 24? Like there's defense and then there's just being in your head and not being able to do anything. That's wild. It's just one of those things that you get. I think it's just sometimes you get towards the end of the season. Sometimes you run out of gas. You just have one of those nights. I really have one of those nights right now before the conference tournaments and before you get into March Madness. Maybe you just shrug that shit off because mercy.
Yeah,
that's one of those tapes you just don't even watch. When's the last time you think you're gonna miss 24 straight shots as a team? Like,
yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know what you get out of that film study. Like, I don't.
Yeah, it's
How not
crazy.
to shoot.
But
shots they've been taking out a year probably
Right.
anyway.
I understand that. No,
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. That's probably one of those tapes. We're moving forward. It is what it is. Nobody had a streak going for us. Like you normally with teams, you have one guy that's missing, somebody else steps up. Very few times, really, you have it where everybody's missing.
I mean, everybody.
Were they high percentage shots, guys? I was DJing an event last night. Were they high percentage shots? They were just missing like bunnies and stuff like that, or was it trying to shoot? I mean, what was
Everything.
it?
No, it
Wow.
was a little bit of both. Mid-range.
Okay.
Threes. Yeah. It wasn't a lot of layups in there. I mean, their defense for UConn, you had to give them a lot of credit. They weren't letting them get it much into the paint at all.
Gotcha.
And,
Good clean
yeah.
shots though. That they miss
But
a lot.
this UConn team, I tell you, you go back and look at those 2 championship teams they won back-to-back. And toward the end of the year, in both of those seasons, man, nobody could play with them. I mean, they were beating everybody by 20-some points if you go back to those 2 seasons. Now, I think this college basketball season is going to be the tournament's going to be a lot more competitive. So I don't see UConn running rush shot through all those teams like that, like they did in those 2 championships teams. But they're almost starting to play like that, right? I mean, if like I said, you go back, I mean, that they were so good that they made the tournament boring. It really did. When you go back and look at those championship teams from a couple of years ago, Danny Hurley had those guys rolling. They were so good, nobody in the tournament could match up with them.
That's why I got to get somebody that's trying to be like a 10th year senior, man. Make it happen, man. I'm 40 years old, man, trying to get this NIL, man. So we'll talk about that later, if you will. But anything else to add to that, Gary?
No, I'm good with that.
Oh, man. Let's talk about a few teams on the rise here. And, I think we've got a couple, there's a couple of dangerous teams too, Rob. I think that's who you were talking about as far as being some teams to watch out for. Florida, Illinois there's some teams that have probably surged in kind of top 10 efficiency, you think. So there's a lot of teams, St. Louis, Arkansas. There's been some interesting situations too, man. So what are your thoughts as far as some teams, number one, on the rise? And then we'll talk about again, recapping that when Florida's win over Texas.
Well, we just talked about one of them, UConn. And yeah, we'll talk about Florida too, right? They're the defending champs, and Florida might have one of the best front courts in the country, with Alex Condon at center, Thomas Howard power forward, and their guard play is really starting to play at a high level. Bougie Flan was a 5-star recruit, played last year at Arkansas. He just transferred to Florida in the second year. He's playing at a high level. Xavier Lee came from Harvard. And so their backcourt play is really starting to play really well right now. So Florida, to me, is definitely a dangerous team. And, I mean, they went to Austin and beat Texas pretty handily last night. Virginia is another team. We'll see if Virginia is legit this weekend. They play Duke. And even though Duke is number one in the country, I'm going to put them as a team on the rise too. And as much as I hate to say it, but they're really playing well. Boozer's playing well. Patrick and Kongba, their starting center, is also playing really well. Isaiah Evans. I mean, they got a deep team, and they're starting to play their best basketball of the year. And were a pretty good win over Michigan this past weekend too. And surprise, I have North Carolina as a team, even without Caleb Wilson. If they can get him back healthy before the tournament, they've even been playing some really good basketball here of late. But they're going to need Caleb if they're going to have any chance of going far in the tournament.
Nice. We're going to kind of switch gears here a little bit too, because we're going to jump into some stuff, but I do want to talk about some things that are happening in the NFL. Obviously, the combine is actually happening right now. We got to do the first day. We're excited about what's going on. We're going to talk about Sonny Styles. Excuse me, when I said Sonny Styles. Man, I'm so excited, man. But shout out to Sonny Styles. My apologies on that. JQ, Ohio State. His dad, Lorenzo Styles, played for the Falcons. Let's go. And the Rams too. But we'll talk about that. And just blowing doors out, man. A 4.47 40, but we're gonna get that. We're gonna get that.
4.46. Him and Arvell Reese.
Yeah, him. Yeah, I saw like last was like a 4.47, but now it's like
4.46. Both of them time.
That was the second time.
And I think most importantly, the scouts were really impressed with how he measured too, right?
Yeah. 6'5", was 6'5", 240?
244 pounds.
Ooh,
43.5 inch vertical leap and 11.5 feet broad jump.
Yeah. Now think about that.
What was his vertical?
43.5 at 6'4", 240.
Now he was like a former safety. He grew into like that's sits you up. He started as a safety. The next thing you know, you grew. You're like, you know what? You can play you safety. That is insane. So, man, you talk about kind of this new NFL. Go ahead. We'll talk about that too. But I know you got a lot to talk about, JQ. Let's get this first part here. We're going to do this first trade, and we're going to talk about the combine because that was some pretty big stuff, if you will. There was an interesting swap here. The Jets, talk about the Jets. They get the big nose tackle, Devontae Sweat. He's like 366 pounds to anchor their new 3-4 scheme. The Titans get edge Jermaine Johnson, reunited him with Robert Saleh. So that's an interesting move as far as that too. So let's talk about that quick trade, if you will. Does it move the meter for both teams? I think this is a situation where it's kind of a win-win normally. That sometimes doesn't always happen, but this is a win-win if you actually count on the Jets winning something. But Jets, you guys get a win. Talk about this. JQ,
be one of very few wins this year, but
for real, right?
Yeah, on paper, they get a win.
Well, both of these players may have just gotten traded to a better situation. We have to see how it kind of turns out. And obviously, the Titans got Jeffrey Simmons, who's a flat out beast.
Ooh.
And a lot of people, watch football don't know about him because the Tennessee Titans haven't been good. But if you watch the Tennessee Titans, Jeffrey Simmons might be one of the best, if not the best, defensive tackle in football. He's a straight up beast, right? And so if you can get Jermaine Johnson or somebody going on the edge, in my latest mock, I had Tennessee taking Ruben Bain because I think they were looking for an edge rusher to kind of pair with Jeffrey Simmons here, right? And Jermaine Johnson was a first-round pick with a lot of talent, right? So they're hoping they can get the best out of him that maybe the Jets haven't gotten out of him just yet. So, he just might have gotten traded to a better situation. I don't think, still don't think he's lived up to the billing as a first-round pick yet. Yeah, but we'll see.
I agree with you. I think it's, for me, when I looked at it, was twofold. When I looked at the Bain piece, I know they talk about his arms, and I wonder if Will Campbell hurt him a little bit with that playoff performance, with the whole short arm conversation. And he's like, man, I'm at home catching strays, and I ain't even did nothing, just because of the whole short arm conversation. But I did read that, some scouts were thinking about, depending on how Bain performs the combine and his measurables, they might also think about kicking him in sometimes. I think Tennessee runs a 4-3, don't they? So you can put him next to Jeffrey, and then, oh my gosh, now if you're Jermaine Johnson, you have no excuse because you're getting things out there. Because if you put those two dudes together on the inside, on the other part of the line, you're going to get a lot of one-on-ones. You should be able to eat. But what I would say is, man, that's a lot of a subtraction off of a Jets defense that we thought on paper coming into this season was going to be pretty decent, right? Like, you traded two of the dudes during the season. Now you trade another one. Is he trying to change the culture in the building or just on the defensive side of the ball? It just, I don't know. It's just when there's smoke, there's fire, I feel like, right? And once you trade,
don't make sense what they're doing.
Two of your best defensive players during the season, and then the third one, who, he took a step back this season for sure, but you spent a high first-round pick on him. It's like, what's happening in that? You know what I'm saying? That's
they get some picks back too, though. They get some picks back too.
They got a lot of picks. They got like 5 picks.
Yeah, we know.
First
I know.
I get that. But if those dudes are those dudes, you keep them in the building, and then you worry about trading
Sauce Gardner. How do you trade him?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of probably a little bit of both. You're probably thinking
you're gambling.
Maybe you're trying to say we're going to probably put you in a better situation because we're not winning. Maybe it'll start fresh. I mean, there's a lot of different situations we can kind of talk about. I was reading about the arm length, JQ, and this is interesting. Rob and Gary, they were saying that his arms were they were less than 32 inches, right? And they said that
31 inches.
31. They said that no pass rusher with a sub 31-inch arm had 10 plus sacks in the season since 1999. So that was an interesting statistic.
I got to go back and look at Will Smith's arm length because he had short arms too. Played for the Saints, played at Ohio State, and that's who kind of Ruben Bain reminds me of. I hadn't had a chance to go back and look that up today.
I mean, they said they said it was Bain was like 30 and 7/8 inches in Texas A&M. Cassius Howell was 30.4, and they would be the shortest arm lengths since they started tracking data since 2003, which is crazy to me. So whenever somebody says short arms, I kind of think of like the T-Rex. That's what the first thing I think about, man. You got short arms, man. You're like, really? So that was just interesting.
So Will Smith was 32 inches. I just looked it up.
Wow. So there you go. So anyone shorter than 31, they were saying it's tough to get no one that's had more than 10 sacks. So I don't know. Ruben Bain's a hell of a player, man. So if he slips because of that, he's still a hell of a player, man. So yeah.
If he slips, Caleb Downs will be there for us at 10. I wouldn't mind if you kick him inside and occasionally push him outside. I like that dude's motor.
Yeah.
Like, he just plays football, and you got a lot of people who love to play football and have a high motor. He's one of those guys. So we'll see.
And he played against elite competition, and I think that's what the NFL scouts are going to go back and look at to see how he played against NFL talent. Matter of fact, they can go and look at his own practice against Francis McGowan and see how he matched up against him, right? So they have and NFL scouts are in those practices too, right? So they have a lot of great film to go back and look at to see how well he played against NFL level talent in college.
Shout out Richard. Yeah, the third. Yeah, I got to look at who ran that 4.8. Yeah, 3:30. That is another insane stat too, man. We'll talk about that as well too. We'll talk about some other things. JQ, you get your time to talk about Sonny Styles, man. And Rob, I want to get your thoughts as far as where do you think that happens with this draft stock? Because what we're finding out is that through this draft, there's a lot of elite linebacker play. Like it's just elite linebacker prospects, and that's the question, right? What is, kind of the class? Is it one of the deeper classes, if you will? And now I think kind of changed, right? Obviously, we talk about defense and whatnot, and how the offense trying to spread you out. Now you got these fast linebackers, and I think it does. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out because again, I know from our side for the Falcons, Caden Ellis is a free agent, and now. Like, yeah, I thought we were going to keep him, but if you have such a great class of linebackers, I think you're kind of fine. I mean, he's a great.
Thanks, should have never let him go.
Yeah. So
You gotta
anyway,
you got to resign Ellis if you're the Falcons because that defense was starting to come around. I mean, as per the time we talked about on Sonny Styles, I just think the Buckeyes in general are having a really good combine with him and Arvell. I think he is going to work his way probably into the bottom of the first round as well. And you talk about Caleb Downs. I do now wonder about Carnell Tate because you get a lot of the chatter about Kyle Lemon and also the kid from Arizona State.
Tyson.
Tyson.
What's his name?
For Jordan Tyson.
Okay.
Jordan Tyson. Pushing him for that number one wide receiver. To me, he's the one out of all of them, the one that could potentially fall out of the first round.
Who's that?
Carnell Tate.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Wow.
Because there was a while that he was consensus. I thought whenever we talked about it as the season was going on, consensus number one, and a lot of that's being thrown in. I think thrown in, is in doubt. But I'm pleased with my Buckeyes and the way they performed this combine. They've had a really good combine so far.
They're doing good for sure. Caden McDonald.
So that stock is rising for your linebackers there.
They're 1 and 2. What I read is that they're consensus linebacker 1 and 2 in recent and Sonny Styles. I think
they were 1 and 2 even before the combine. So they're
solidifying it now.
They kind of solidified it. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, but I think Tate is going to have to. I didn't read if he was going to perform. He was going to show up at the combine or wait to the pro day because you know how that goes. But there's a little bit of more pressure on him now in terms of if he's going to really be wide receiver 1. I don't know if he is.
Yeah, there's been some other players. We'll talk about
latest mock. I have him still as wide receiver 1, but we'll see how everything shapes up after the combine for sure in the pro days.
There was a guy that dropped LT Overton from Alabama, the tackle. He ran like a 4.87. I was looking at that, which wasn't that great. Apparently he was a little stiff. There's only one LT, so we think about Lawrence Taylor. So if you're a little younger, we apologize. That's who we remember, that LT, not LT Overton, not this dude, man. But anyway.
there's only one LT.
There's only one LT in my world.
Well, they accumulate that with the offensive lineman and the defensive lineman running the 40. Who gives a damn? When is that really going to translate? You talking about on the off chance they might scoop up a fumble and maybe score on it because stop.
The first 10 yards are supposed to be.
It's more about technique with those guys more than anything. Particularly the offensive lineman is more about technique with those guys for sure.
Yeah.
Now edge rushers, you want some speed there for sure.
Well, okay, let me rephrase that. Yes, the edge rushers, but like all of the offensive linemen and my defensive tackles. If I'm working about my defensive tackles tracking somebody down the field with 40 speed, then we have already messed up as a defense.
Yes.
That's literally, JQ, I think it's that first.
It's more about technique with those guys, especially the offensive line.
He's like, I'm 330 pounds. Man, how fast can you go, man? Unless there was like a hamburger at the other end of the field. That's a whole other conversation.
Why am I even asking you to do that? I hear what you're saying, Rob. I just like they could cut some time off these people's days when I was asking these big dudes to run the 40 when it's never going to really translate into a play. Not
What was the defensive tackle play for the Rams just retired a year or two ago?
Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald, man, his technique at the defensive tackle position was just insane, right?
Yeah.
Because his moves,
the
way he thought at the position, so it's really more about technique on a lot of those positions. Now, like I said, the edge rushers, you want some speed there for sure. Mm-hmm. But the offensive linemen and the defensive tackles, it's more about technique.
I'm just saying we can cut 12 hours out of the combine without watching these big dudes run.
He's
Nobody
not
want
wrong.
to see that.
He's not wrong.
Just saying.
Now, so the same thing, Rob. So you got the top QBs in the draft. I mean, I don't even know. There's like two, and let's call it a day, man. That's kind of how I feel, man. It's like, man, you know, what are we gonna do for this, man? You know, it's Mendoza and obviously Ty Simpson, I guess. You know, then
Yep.
It's
You
one. Don't even say two. It's one.
Just one. Let me get one rib.
Let me get one rib. One in the hand for 10 cents. Sorry, go ahead.
It's Fernando Mendoza, Ty Simpson. I got Garrett Nussmeier, number 3. He's going to go to the 3rd round right now. Then I have Cole Payton from North Dakota State at number 4. He's going to probably go in the late 3rd round or early 4th round. So those are my top 4 right now.
Can we stop talking about North Dakota State quarterbacks? Can we please? Can we
Trey Lance, stand up.
Hey,
and Carson Wentz.
Stand up.
as long as I know Josh Allen didn't go to North Dakota State, but he went to Wyoming. So as long as you can find a diamond in the rough like Josh Allen, you got to talk about him.
Which you know why? Which is the reason why I picked them out. And don't come for me. But once you have Trey Lance and Carson Wentz, both from there. Like it's like, can we pump the brakes on the quarterbacks from there? Like, there's only one Josh Allen who's the MVP. He's the only one Wyoming quarterback that I think we've ever really talked about like that, right? Going 1st round and that kind of business. To me, I think it's just one.
I don't even know another Wyoming.
That's the point.
True.
And you know, North Dakota State is going to Division I next year, right?
Oh, here we go.
Are they?
I think they're going to either the WAC or the Mountain West, one of them. So they're not going to be in Division I Double A anymore. They're going to Division I.
They are
Single
tripping.
North Dakota State.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll talk
okay.
about this.
I just don't. Listen, if we all know it, Mendoza has had his highs and lows, and he knows bullshit because he should never been down to Penn State anyway. But that play, the national championship game, bulldozing his way in for the touchdown. That dude just has the leadership capabilities, and you can see it. He's the only one, but we talk about it all the time. Teams, it's the supply and demand, and teams need a quarterback, and they just are talking themselves into dudes, and that'll get you fired. I just don't think those other ones are those guys. At least they're not 1st round guys for sure. But
watch the Rams here. You know, right now I have the Rams taking Ty Simpson at 13, and that's the kind of a situation for a quarterback where he don't even have to come in and start day 1. If they can get another year, 2 or 3 out of Matthew Stafford and groom Ty Simpson.
What about Stetson Bennett?
Oh man, get out of here, man. Stetson Bennett ain't no NFL.
Stetson Bennett is a winner. But see, this is where that kills me. You just watched your secondary get torched. And you got Buddy from LSU, he still past the Bengals, and the other dude that's coming off the ACL from Tennessee. If you are LA at 13, and one of them dudes falls there, and you take Ty Simpson over them when you got all that offense, and you watch that secondary get murdered in the playoffs, you better go get you some right now help.
Got murked.
I don't see that happening, Rob.
That's my thing. That the glaring need is at the cornerback and safety position for the Rams. If you take somebody that's not going to play for 3 years when you got a team that's ready to win right now for an edge prospect at 13,
Rob is he's pretty standing firm with that conviction here with you all. But like you said,
I've done about 10 or 15 mocks already this year, and this is probably only the 2nd time I've had a quarterback to the Rams at 13. I could see both sides of that argument. I could see them. You got an offensive-minded head coach, and if he got a strong conviction on Ty Simpson, and if the Rams feel like they're going to keep winning, when is the next time they're going to pick at number 13? So they're going to look at this as an opportunity. If we got a strong conviction on this quarterback, when are we going to have a high pick like this again?
Don't do like the Falcons.
We jump on it. So, but look, they got to have a strong conviction on them.
And or they got to have a good,
because you can get corners, whether it's through free agency or whether it's through trades. The Rams got 2 first-round picks in this draft. They can come back and get another corner in the 2nd pick of the draft too, right? So, I mean, I don't know if they're going to totally pick a quarterback. I can see them going both sides of that. But if you got a strong conviction on this quarterback, when are the Rams going to pick 13 again if they feel like they're going to keep winning?
I forgot they had 2 picks.
Listen,
they got our pick.
I would go back and think about getting with that later pick in their draft at 13.
Yeah, he could very well be there. But you know, here's the thing: if they think the Steelers are going to take him on 21, and they think
I hope they do.
If the Rams feel real strongly about this guy, which we don't know if they do or not, but if they do, and they think the Steelers are going to take him at 21, or the Steelers are going to try to trade up to get him, you know, so I mean, there's a lot of mind games, a lot of things that's going to go on here for the next month.
I don't disagree with that. But I'm gonna give you that argument. If I'm in that locker room and I know we in the now mentality, there's somebody that's not going to play, and then we go out there and we score 55 points, and we lose 38-35. And I watched this dude that we could have had ball for somebody else that would help the secondary that we all know is trash. Then you also don't want to lose that locker room because they're definitely in a win now mentality. So I get what you're saying, but that's a tough place to be in. That's why they get paid millions of dollars.
Yeah. And look, I mean, we know the quarterback is the most important position in the game, and few franchises go from elite quarterback to elite quarterback. And look, I witnessed that with my Saints. I witnessed that with my Saints for years. I mean, they kept trying to win with Drew Brees. They kept trying to add talent. They had talent, but they never found a replacement for Drew Brees. I know they tried, just didn't work out. You know, they tried to get Mahomes, and the Chiefs jumped him in the draft.
Man.
And you know, so but they never. And now it looks like we may finally have a quarterback, right? And there's like 5 years later, right? So I got an opportunity to have a guy that can bridge that gap immediately and not drop off. I mean, if the Rams really feel like they're going to keep winning, when are they going to pick at 13 again?
I got all that. I just don't think Ty Stubbs.
Well, it seems like the Rams have been in that let's win now mode. They did that a few years ago where they gave up everything and they brought in all those bodies and they got themselves a championship. And then they took a little bit of a hit on that. Now, I don't see him. I can see him in that win now mode. Let's get what we need right now.
I can see both sides of the argument. I mean, and like I said, I've lost count how many mock drafts I've done already this offseason. And but this is probably only the second time I've had him taking the quarterback at 13. So I can clearly see them go both sides of that.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting that we brought this up because, guys, I'm kind of curious because it does not appear to be a strong QB draft, and we'll let you go into the mock draft. And I'm curious, right? Like if there's
the weakest we've seen in quite some time.
Yeah, I'm curious if there's like a sleeper, and I know Jake is laughing over there, but the thing is, the fact that you have quarterbacks, they push other players down, and you know, having quarterbacks in the draft does something, right? It affects the draft, man. So I think it's kind of tough. I mean, next year is going to be insane, man. So that's something that we'll keep an eye on as far as how that draft's going to affect that going into 2027. But like you said, you know, Drew, I think Drew Allar, I think he's still, you know, I know he's supposedly like a 7th-round pick because, you know, whatever, because he's come back from the injury. So there's still a couple names out there, but you just don't know, man. So unless you're trying to gambling and hoping that you get like some type of luck of the draw like a Brock Purdy, it's going to be tough. It's just not really the best draft. So I'm curious as far as what happens. With that said, you know, Rob has posted his mock draft again, so always check out that on the Talking Sports page. So Rob, will let you do the mock draft that you have and go from there, my guy.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. What you see?
No, just it's mock draft time, man. Go ahead, man. Do your mock draft real quick,
got you. Yeah, so I'll do the usual. I'll talk about the top 10, then I'll talk about our teams here. Of course, still got Mendoza going number 1.
What?
Arvell Reese, still got him going number 2. Obviously, he solidified that, as you all already talked about at the Combine. I got Francis McGough, offensive tackle from Miami to Arizona at number 3. Obviously, I had Ruben Bain number 4 prior to the Combine, so we'll see how everything kind of shakes out, but I still have him at number 4. And like I said, he reminds me a lot of Will Smith with those short arms, played at a high level, high motor.
T-Rex.
It looked like his arm length is only 1 inch shorter than Will Smith. So Will Smith was 32 inches and Ruben Bain's 31.
30 and 7/8, then. 30 and 7/8, man. That's what they're saying, man.
Come on, man. Round it up 31.
Come on, man. 30 and 7/8, man. T-Rex arms.
You can grow his fingernail out a little bit. Make that 31.
Oh man, JQ probably's not gonna like this, but I got Caleb Downs up to number 5. Go to the Giants, right? And you know the Giants got a good defensive line already. They seem to think they've gotten a quarterback, and if they can get Malik Neighbors healthy, they can still use a little bit more help on the offensive line. But it's hard to beat a cerebral player like Caleb Downs, who can play safety, who can play in the slot. So I have him at number 5. I got Carnell Tate at number 6 to Cleveland. I got the Commanders taking Spencer Fano, another investment on the offensive line for Jaden Daniels. I got my Saints taking David Bailey, edge rusher from Texas Tech. I think they're going to try to squeeze one more year out of Cam Jordan. But actually had a pretty good year, especially after Chase Young got healthy for the Saints. So obviously, but we're going to need to replace Cam Jordan at some point, and David Bailey will be a good acquisition to fit in that Brandon Staley defense. I got Jeremiah Love going to Kansas City to help Patrick Mahomes. And then I got the Bengals taking Sonny Styles, linebacker from Ohio State. So can't be too mad with Caleb Downs going early if you're getting Sonny Styles, right?
We need it. We need it.
Yeah.
You give me anybody on the defensive side of the ball that's worth a damn, I'm going to do like this.
What about the offense? What about offensive line, JQ? What about that, man?
Listen, I think you got to have a strategy. Either you attack the defense in free agency and go offensive line over players in the draft, or vice versa. We'll see what the strategy is. I think having Sonny Styles is an Ohio kid, keeping Cincinnati, the linebackers. But the only thing about that is they drafted 2 linebackers last year in the 4th and 5th round. And that's why they were able to trade the Cowboys. But they were hit or miss in that linebacker core. You put Sonny Styles in there, and then you got something.
Well, yeah, instant starter, day one for sure. Impact player. Yeah. Cowboys got 2 first-round picks. I got them taking Jamad McCoy, cornerback from Tennessee.
That's what's up.
McCoy, man, he's a freakish athlete, right? He's coming off of a major injury, though. He probably would be a top 5 pick if it wasn't for that injury. But, you know, it's going to be either him or Monsieur Delane at cornerback, who's going to go number 1 at the cornerback position. So I got McCoy from Tennessee going to Dallas. And then I got Dallas drafting Oliver Vega-Ione, interior offensive lineman from Penn State. So they go defense and they go offensive line with those 2 picks. The Cowboys don't have a 2nd and 3rd round pick, so they don't pick again until the 4th round. So my latest mock, I did a 3-round. It's posted on Talking Sports for the 12th man. I got the Saints taking Dylan Dianeman, safety from Oregon. 3-year starter at Oregon, 6 feet, 205 pounds, 306 tackles in his 3 years, 8 INTs. So cerebral player, obviously not the athlete like Caleb Downs is, so that's why he's going in the 2nd round, but a lot of production at the safety position as a 3-year starter. In the 3rd round, I got the Saints staying with defense against Chandler Rivers. Can't have enough corners from Duke. 5'10", 185 pounds. Showed really good in zone coverage, but he really shined in the Senior Bowl playing man-to-man. So that really caught a lot of scouts' attention.
You like Nas, though.
So what?
You like Nas.
Yeah. He's 5'10", 185 pounds, but you know, plays really good zone defense. But like I said, he really shined in the Senior Bowl in practices and the game from a man-to-man coverage standpoint. I got Cincy going defense first 3 rounds. In this mock, Brandon Sis, 6 feet, 190, explosive athletic ability, corner from South Carolina. He's got to improve his technicians, his fundamentals and things of that nature. But you're talking about one of the best athletes, pure athletes in this draft, right? Just need a little bit more coaching. Romello Height, edge rusher from Texas Tech, on that great defensive line that Texas Tech had.
He's from Georgia Tech.
240 pounds. Ran a 4.64 at the combine. What's that?
He played at Georgia Tech too, but
but he's coming from Texas Tech.
but he played at Tech too. Come on, man. Hey, man. Come on, man. Y'all be giving the LSU all kinds of man. Let me have my little 2 cents, man.
What you mean?
What'd you say?
All right.
What'd you say?
And then,
so what do you mean, y'all? Ain't no y'all. It's just a you.
Finish up, Rob.
All right. And then the Falcons don't have a first round pick, but in the second round, I got them taking Jake Goldie from Cincinnati.
That's actually a good
6'5",
pick.
239 pounds.
Ooh,
He's
I
a
like
big
that.
explosive linebacker too, right? A
like
lot
that.
of production with Cincinnati Bearcats. And then Jack Slaughter, interior offensive line from
I
Florida.
like that. Like that.
6'4", 330 pounds.
Center.
He can play center or guard.
Yep.
Got him going to the Falcons in the third round. So that's what I have on the latest mock. Go check it out. Talking Sports for the 12th Man Facebook page.
Rob, on any of your mocks, do you have teams trading up or trading down?
Yeah, I've had several where I've had trading up and trade down. In this one, I don't have any in the first round trading up. I don't think I have a trade in this mock until the third round. I got Minnesota moving up to 81 to take Garrett Nussmeier.
Because with the Cowboys not having I don't think they have a pick in the second or third round, correct?
No, they don't. No, they don't.
I can see them trading down if they're not going to get what they want with.
I can see that
with one of those picks.
Yeah, maybe at 20. 20 would probably make the most sense to trade down. Maybe
Sure.
12, you don't want to miss out on the athlete right there at 12. So maybe at 20 would be an opportunity to trade down. I could definitely see that.
Yeah, somebody trying to move back into that's one of those spots. Somebody trying to maybe move back into the bottom of the first round for somebody that's fallen off for a quarterback they fell in love with and just trying not to take them too high.
But the only trades I have in this mock is I have Minnesota moving up to 81 to take Garrett Nussmeier, and I have the Jets trading up to 100 to take Cole Payton.
Man, Minnesota ain't gonna do that, man. That's a lot of tension in the locker room with two. You see how that played out in Cleveland with two quarterbacks on their first contract. I'm not saying they shouldn't because JJ sucks, but
you
got to have assurance, man. You saw
but that's why I feel like
JJ didn't play well, but you saw who was behind JJ.
I did. I did. That's why I feel like they're going to be the veteran. Like, that's why I think Kirk
But keep in mind, this is pre-free agency. All this would change. If they sign a quarterback in free agency or get somebody they want in free agency, obviously they're not going to do that for sure.
Yeah, and that's a good point too. That's a good point, Gary, that you were talking about, because same thing, like, whenever you watch a lot of the Ian Cunningham press conferences, he's a huge fan. He's like, yeah, this is the last time the Falcons will ever have like 5 picks. So I think we're going to be trading down. Whenever he was with the Bears, they had like 5. They ended up with like 10. So Rob, that's why I'm kind of curious as far as what's happening, because there's a lot of players that you can kind of like, hey, let's just kind of build depth. They came from that. He comes from the Baltimore and kind of Philly, building through the draft and saying, hey, we're gonna get this measurable and little things like that too. So that's what I believe. So there's probably gonna be a lot of trade downs since it's an interesting draft, right? Speaking of draft, and we talked about Arizona, there's some reports that Kyler Murray wants out of Arizona.
I think they want him out too.
Of course he does. Of course he does. Jacoby Brissett. I'm just reading what's on the thing, guys. Don't come after me.
I'm surprised it
topic.
didn't happen 5 years ago.
So, it's so funny because there's 2 jokes between him and Bryce Young. Naj sending me jokes all the time about short quarterbacks. He's like little pee-wee, like size little quarterbacks. Kyler Murray, I mean, who knows if it's work ethic, health. Jacoby Brissett's playing, he's been playing better. Jonathan Gannon was a terrible coach. So right now it appears that, he's going to win out. He thinks in his head that he's one of the top free agent quarterbacks, even over Malik Willis. But, who knows? But I'll let you guys talk about this.
It's a bad year for quarterbacks, draft and free agency. So, I mean,
his stock is going to go up.
Yeah, his value, just because of how bad.
Where's he going
right now?
Where's he going? Who's going to pay?
Obviously, the Falcons could be a team in play for him, right? The Jets,
the
Vikings, the Dolphins.
We'll see.
Those all could be teams in play for him, right? At the quarterback position.
Well, think about this. Think about this, though. With the situation that he's been in, he's been on a dysfunctional team.
Yeah.
In the arguably the toughest division in the NFC over the last 8-9 years, whatever, right? With San Francisco and LA, and then Seattle, and then and then they're way down the tubes.
Keep an eye. What if it's the Kansas City Chiefs? Oh, no, I'm joking.
Yeah, get out of here.
Pittsburgh might look at him if
Pittsburgh, it's the Dolphins.
Yeah, that's
Pittsburgh.
true.
They said, like, the Chiefs with Pat Mahomes' industry. I was looking at that, but it's just interesting, man, because we don't think that's happening. I'm just reading as far as what I saw from Fox Sports. Don't come after me. It's just interesting.
Doesn't strike me as the prototypical Pittsburgh quarterback, and then on the heels of the failure with Justin Fields, I don't think they go down that road again. I see the Jets. I don't think Minnesota's going to be interested in something like that. It's not the classic piece of it. I can see Miami being intrigued by it. Listen, when they put out in the press that they wanted to put in his contract, he was playing too much, Call of Duty or whatever, and they, the number of hours he was going to spend in the building and studying. I knew that relationship was destined to be doomed, because if that's your guy, you don't put that information out there to the press for us to feed off of it. So, yeah, but to your point, Gary, you're right, and you also, Rob, it's such a bad market for the quarterbacks. It's going to get inflated, but he's going to go somewhere and get him a job. I think it's
absolutely.
I think he goes to the AFC East. I think he goes to the Jets or the Dolphins.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, the Jets are reportedly the favorite to get him. I don't know what they're going to give up for him, but they're reportedly.
Yeah, but he's just going from one dysfunctional family to another. He's not going. I mean, he's got to try and get. If I were Kyler Murray and I'm trying to pick a team, I'm going to want to go to a team that's got some stability. That's not.
They got to want him though.
What's that?
Those teams with stability has to want him.
Right.
They may not
there's going to be someone. There's going to be someone out there that's going to want him.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
Teams with stability probably already have their dude.
Yeah.
So they're stable.
And about the only team that's somewhat stable that if they get a quarterback could be contending right away is probably the Vikings. I mean, when you look at Brian Flores, defensive coordinator, what he's going to do with that defense, and when you look at Justin Jefferson and some of the weapons that they have and the offensive mind that the head coach had, they were 9-8 last year with a very unstable quarterback situation.
Yeah.
So I mean, probably the Steelers and the Vikings are probably the only two organizations right now that are maybe somewhat stable with that they get a quarterback that they might be able to go far in the playoffs. That's it. I mean, the rest of these teams need quarterbacks. I mean,
well, I was thinking
not too many of these teams are stable situations.
The Vikings as well.
I think he would. Go ahead. I think he would love to go to the Vikings. But to Rob's point, I don't think the Vikings want him.
Yeah, I don't know.
If I mean,
I kind of think like more of a veteran for the Vikings too, because they've kind of been on that path with JJ McCarthy. So it's kind of one of those tough situations where you want somebody to kind of stabilize the ship. If that's a Kirk Cousins, you put it in the thing, Aaron Rodgers, Rob. I mean, that's probably what you're probably looking for, somebody to kind of come and just stabilize the ship and kind of, maybe you draft again or you see what you have in JJ McCarthy. But that's kind of what I see. Or you don't.
Have you read it where they said they had to simplify the offense because they had to take away the plays across the middle because he just couldn't see it? That lets you know that they are done with JJ McCarthy. But why I don't think Kyler Murray goes there. I think Kirk Cousins goes there and he said, man, give me a year and be a bridge quarterback to this next crop of quarterbacks I think are going to be good in this next draft. I'm going to get that dude in the 2027 draft. I'm going to not pick up JJ's fifth round option and you go bye-bye. And then we reset this thing. That's what I think Minnesota does.
Yeah. Well, Kyler Murray has got to go somewhere else, and he's got to go this year because with that draft of quarterback draft the following year.
Rich just said, why not the Commanders?
Because they've got Mariota who plays the same way that Jayden does, and they so you don't change any of it. You don't really need to go do that when you already got Mariota in the building and he's got the rapport. And from my standpoint, I don't feel like he played bad. I feel like that Washington defense.
I agree with that.
Yeah, they lost.
I think they got a good quarterback room with Jayden Daniels
and Mariota. Yeah, keep it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So if you're looking at the quarterbacks, like I said, right now, I mean, you're looking at the teams that need a quarterback. I think we've eliminated kind of what we had and who we're thinking too. So it does depend on what happens if he gets cut. That's the thing of release because again. That's kind of what teams are going to try to hold out for.
Kirk Cousins
he's going to want to start, right? That's he's going somewhere where he's going to want to start. Correct?
Are we talking about Kirk Cousins right now or Kyler Murray still?
Kyler Murray.
Okay. Oh, he's getting cut, bro. And so is Kirk Cousins. Anybody trading you for that dude when they know you're gonna cut him as soon as the league year open?
But
So we're
sucks, the
talking
Falcons
about-
have already made it known that they're cutting Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
on
we're not
March
bringing it
11th,
back.
so-
So, but the point is, who's like, if you're looking at the teams right now, I mean, there's only a few teams. Like I said, we said the Dolphins, the Jets. With right, I'm looking at the Steelers, Vikings, and other than that, and some Falcons, you can probably call us, but those are probably the teams that you sort of have an opportunity. That's pretty much it. Now,
They're gonna be the Falcons, bro.
Our
We don't
Daniel-
take top 10 and just cut bait on him that fast.
yeah, what'd you say, JQ?
I just don't think the Falcons are gonna cut bait on Penix that fast.
They're not. So,
Well, I think
I
I think the thing with the Falcons, thing you got to realize is Penix is coming off a torn ACL. Is he going to be ready to play week 1, right? So you're cutting arguably the best quarterback on your team, Kirk Cousins. So
what does that tell you? That
you're
tells
going to
me
need another quarterback.
Agreed. But what that tells me though is I'm not necessarily drafting one like that. I feel like if I'm in the building and I'm watching his rehab, I can cut Kirk Cousins. I feel like he's going to be back by week 1. It's what that tells me on the outside looking in. They got the best look into what his rehab looks like.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit both. I think
when did he get hurt? In October or November?
October. You talking about Kurt?
Close.
You talking about You talking about Penix? You talking about Kurt?
Penix.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Shit, that was. Yeah.
But it's kind of it's the ACL, not the Achilles. So
yeah. I mean, I think they're going to get like a bridge quarterback, to kind of hold, and then kind of just somebody that's not going to threaten. I mean, not when I say threaten, I mean he's kind of knows his role, and then you're going to get somebody. You're probably going to get like a young guy, whether it's like I hate to say crap like that, but you probably somebody kind of either develop too. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So you'll probably have 4 quarterbacks in camp. See where you're at. But
could Kyler Murray shine somewhere else? Could he be like these other resurgent quarterbacks?
You said
he's
it like
shown
you're going,
flashes, right?
You're going
he's
from
shown some
dysfunction to
flashes in the
dysfunction, though.
league.
You can't go to the Jets. That's dysfunction.
But I think the problem with Kyler Murray is, can he stay healthy long enough to have any kind of long-term success? I mean, has he shown flashes in the league? Absolutely. Is there going to be somebody that's going to take a shot at him? Absolutely, because there's only a certain number of positions in the league, and there's not a lot of good quarterbacks available. But maybe the right situation, great offensive line. But like I said, it's you're typically not going to a great situation if the team needs a quarterback.
And we lost
either that or he's going to, carry a clipboard.
So speak of that. So there's 2 quarterbacks I'm talking about too.
Add the Browns to that.
Browns,
forget about
that's
the
a
Browns.
dumpster situation too.
I still don't think they're sold on anybody they have in the building.
Agreed.
So what about the Colts? I mean, when is Daniel Jones coming back? Is he going to come back this year? And then
he's coming off an Achilles, right?
So there's word straight that Anthony
time.
Richardson is not the guy either. And then you got Gardner Minshew out there. So I mean, that's another situation as well, right?
Well, the report is the Colts want Daniel Jones back. And
they do as well.
I'm assuming since he's coming off an Achilles, he's not going to go shop around. So I think he's probably going to go with the Colts, but the Colts are probably going to need a day 1 starter.
Yeah.
Because Daniel Jones probably won't be ready week 1 for sure.
Right.
It may not be ready till mid to late season. And Anthony Richardson wants to be traded.
Leonard?
What'd you say?
Who's that?
Why draft Raleigh Leonard then if you're not going to give him a chance?
If
you're Colts, then that's just a waste of a pick to me. If you're not going to give him a chance, you don't think he's good enough to bridge you to Daniel Jones getting back, then you drafted him for no reason, in my opinion.
But they didn't draft Riley Leonard in the top 3 rounds.
You still drafted him?
You still drafted him, but to me, if a team drafts quarterback in the top 3 rounds, they view him as an eventual starter. They drafted Riley Leonard to be a backup quarterback because if you draft a quarterback between 4 and 7, you drafting a quarterback to be a backup quarterback, and if you get lucky with him being a starter, then so be it, right? But they didn't. When they drafted him, they didn't envision him being a starting quarterback in the league.
Not a starting quarterback for all 17 games for every season moving forward. Well, I feel like this is one of those situations that if you want Daniel Jones back, and you say he comes back by, say, week 6 or 5, can you beat 3-2 and be in the hunt with Riley Leonard? Because if you draft him to be the backup, I hear what you're saying, but at some point your backup might be pressed into duty for a month.
Yeah,
your quarterback is hurt. That's what I'm saying. I don't see the point of now he's been in the system a whole year. Right, you drafted him. He can't be good enough for 5 weeks. It's like, well, damn, cut that dude, Dan. Like, what are we doing?
Wow, wow.
They brought in 83-year-old Phillip Rivers.
That's true.
Because
That's
the
that
Colts
that that
was
should tell you something.
still in the playoff running here, right? So
Oh.
they obviously brought in somebody they thought had some experience that can help them stay afloat and maybe still get into the playoffs.
That's all.
And you know, I think if they were out of the playoffs at that point in the season, I think you would have saw a little bit more of Riley Leonard at that time. But they wanted to see if they can make a run at the playoffs still.
And I
obviously
get
didn't
that
work
because he's a rookie, and you know, like you said, to that point of it. But now he's not a rookie no more. He's got a whole year in the building, in the system.
out. Mm-hmm.
We'll see. I mean, it's good. It's good conversation, but I just feel like I don't know. At some point, you gotta have your backup be available for certain stints of the season.
Well, yeah, and let's see how that backup does, you know, during the preseason, running with the starting team. See how he has when he has a starting offensive line and starting running backs and starting receivers. Let's see how he performs in that situation before you go to these.
Listen, I'm an AFC guy. I hope he sucks. This is another open playoff spot for us. So I hope it's trash. But I'm just talking about as we talk about draft and quarterback movement of if you draft him, and you know you got to have some kind of plan for that dude. I agree with you, Rob. I don't know if he was ever drafted to be the future. Now when you had Anthony Richardson supposedly on the roster, now you allow him to seek a trade. But if you know you're going to re-sign Daniel Jones and he's going to be back at some point, can you not just if you draft that guy and he's been in your system a year, is he not good enough just to keep the ship afloat? I'm not asking him to go undefeated, but for 6 weeks, give you 3-3. Give you a chance. You know what I mean? So
Let's go JETE Jets. Hey, let's go back to this really quickly. My boy Jeff actually hit me up, and you're gonna get a kick out of this, Gary. So he was asking me for the show about Carson Beck. He's like, "Why y'all forget about Carson Beck?" I'm like,
is he forgettable?
I was like,
I didn't get to it, but I do have him as the 5th quarterback in the draft right now. I have him going like in the 4th or 5th round though.
like he texted me. He's like, Carson Beck's got a surprise. I'm like, okay.
What? What in the National
Mario
Football League or
Cristobal
the
talented.
said
He's got
Kirby smart about Carson Beck.
Yeah, that was funny.
I just thought that was like hilarious because I was like, oh, Gary's gonna kick. He literally texted me. He's like, what about Carson Beck? He's gonna be talented. Da, da, da. I'm like, oh, all right, we'll see.
But you know what's interesting? Carson Beck was considered the number 1 pick in the draft 2 years ago. And
Insane.
He's really fallen off tremendously here over the last couple of years.
I just thought that was hilarious.
Because he was worried about the wrong shit.
Yeah. Hey, Gary. So Brandon Aubrey wants the largest kicker contract ever. What say you? You gonna pay him? Over 6.5. I think Harrison Butker has the top. I think he's like 6.5. I'm not mistaken.
6.5.
Like
He wanted 10.
He wants 10 million.
He wants 10. I think they've offered him 7, and he's 7 something, 7.1, 7 point something, and he turned it down.
What?
I'm a franchising.
That's what you do.
That's what they're gonna do.
That's exactly what they're gonna do. So hold on, you only got
Yeah.
one.
But no,
So,
they got George Pickens. So
you got Pickens. You got to figure out.
Yeah, then you got.
Yeah.
You can transitioning.
yeah,
So where somebody
you
else
put the
signs you,
transition
you get
tag
picked
on
on.
it.
Yeah.
You know, he's a phenomenal athlete.
Is he though?
Yeah, he is. Absolutely.
He's a great kicker. You can't. Listen,
I'm not saying he's not a great kicker. He's a great athlete. That's the question.
Oh no! I'm not gonna talk about being an athlete. I was just talking about being.
That's what Gary said. He's a phenomenal athlete. I'm like,
Oh well, yeah.
He is. But he's a phenomenal kicker. Best in the
kicker,
league.
not athlete.
He's a great kicker. But he's wild. My thing
Can
is,
you
you know
kick
what?
a 30-yard field goal?
I cannot. Absolutely not.
I wouldn't use none of that
Absolutely
shit, dummy. I say,
I'm not saying that it's like chopped
Go
liver.
on, get it, player. Go on, get it. Go out in that market and see which team is gonna give you $10 million, and then you come back to me and tell me what you found.
And that's probably what they're going to do.
That's risky.
And they're probably going to come up with somewhere. He's going to be the highest paid, and he should be the highest paid.
I mean, I think
He's
7's a
probably
good
gonna
number.
be somewhere around 8. He wants
7's good.
10. They wanted 7. It's probably going to be somewhere around 8 something. And
But the difference
he's worth it.
But the difference in that money is a whole nother player, right? You're talking about 7 million versus 10. That's 3 million. If I give it to you over 3 or 4 year deal, that's not a $12 million over this contract. That's a whole nother dude.
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about? Gone out there, let the Jets pay you $11 million a year, and you have fun with that, sir.
The thing is, the Cowboys, though, they've had some problems with kicking. And I'm not talking shit because we've had some problems too. So they may be like, all right, yeah, we you know, but that's the thing. So
we talked about it. Now you got to deal with Pickens and his thing. Listen, those millions, those 2 to 3 millions over that year, counts. Even with the salary cap going up, that makes
it absolutely does.
It does.
Every time you want to be the highest paid player, it's a snowball effect, and you've got a quarterback that is, and a wide receiver that is, and this and that is, and at some point it's got to stop. They stopped it with their dipshit that went to the Vikings or whatever the fuck, Green Bay or wherever he went to.
You mean Micah Parsons? That guy?
No.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Micah Parsons.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
Wow. But the other part of that is that if we sign Pickens, how many of these long-range field goals are we going to need over the course of the season, right? Because when our drives are generally not going to stall out as often, right? You know, at the 35, 40-yard line, I've got 2 number 1 wide receivers, and I've resigned my running back. You know, I think giving Javonte that money was crazy. I would just use a pick on him. But, you know what I mean? Like, there are certain teams like the Texans, with Pinero, like, you got to give him that money because when Nico goes out, those other Iowa State wide receivers haven't proven themselves to that point. Their drives stall out. They don't have a great running back room. They have a drive that stalls out to 33. So you got to have a dude that can consistently hit a 50-yard field goal. But if I'm going to pay Pickens and Lamb, you know, we should have the ability to stretch the field. So when these drives stall out at the 15, this is a 32-yard field goal versus the drive stalling out at 33, which is a 50-yard field goal. Like, that makes a difference. So I don't necessarily know if I need that kind of a weapon with that kind of money if I'm going to give Pickens that money, because in theory our drives shouldn't stall out like that, where I need somebody that's consistently good from 50, 55, and 60.
You get to the 45 and you stall out, he can kick a field goal.
I feel like with that offense though, that shouldn't happen on a regular basis if you pay Pickens.
I tell you when it does come in handy though, end of the halves and end of games. And, you know, when you look at the NFL, it's not like college, right? Where, you know, the great teams may only play in a few close games in the season, right? But in NFL, almost every game is decided by 3 to 7 points. And if you get the ball with 15, 20 seconds left and you can get one completion for 15 to 20 yards, and Brandon can get you 3 points, easy 3 points to go into the half.
That's the fair point. $10 million a year.
That's the difference. That could be the difference of going.
That's 2 or 3 wins probably.
He said 6 field goals over 60 yards.
12-5 versus 9-8. Yeah.
No, I know. I mean, I hear that.
But I got to fix the defense though.
He'll hit a 70-yarder.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not saying he shouldn't be the highest paid kicker. He should be. But $10 million, when you got to deal with Pickens and then the other contracts are going to come up, those $10 million a year is real money towards the cap that you could save to better the team somewhere else. Ask him for $10 million a year as a kicker. I would tell him, you go find somebody on a competitive team,
kick rocks,
make the playoffs. That's going to give you $10 million. And if they do, have at it.
I totally get it.
I don't think they're gonna let him walk.
They're not gonna let him walk.
I don't think they'll let him walk, but it's frustrating that everybody wants. Of course, that's a business, and we got to deal with it. But JQ in that aspect with the quarterbacks and the amounts of money that they make, and your wide receivers that make so much money, and this sort of thing. Our teams in that aspect are so similar that you don't want to pay a freaking kicker
$10 million a year. No,
top dollar like that, because like you said, that's gonna that may be the difference of us being able to pick up a free agent running back or a free agent defensive back or something like that that's just off the table because of that.
Agreed.
I totally get it. I'm torn.
We'll see. All right, we got about 20 minutes here. I want to get these last couple topics and wrap this up. really quickly, Rob, speaking of somebody like Jackson Smith, like, hey, I want to get paid too. I think I'm the best wide receiver. You heard some rumblings that kind of similar to a Justin Jefferson deal. What say you about that?
Yeah, I mean, he arguably had the best receiving year in the NFL last year. He had 119 catches, over 1,700 yards.
Yep.
A phenomenal season. He's just coming off a Super Bowl victory, and from my understanding, Seattle decided not to franchise Kenny Walker because they want to make sure they're paying Jackson Smith and Jigba, right?
Yep.
And I mean, obviously, I'm sure they would like to keep them both, but I think their focus right now is to make sure they have the monies that they need to secure Jackson Smith and Jigba for a long-term deal this offseason. I mean, him and Sam Darnold hit it off right away.
Yep.
And they want to make sure they have that comfort zone for Sam Darnold at the receiver position. So I think that's like their number one off-season priority is to make sure they lock up Jackson Smith and Jigba.
And I think it's him and was it Witherspoon? I think are the other one on the defensive side of the ball that they're looking to extend. Hey, listen, you gotta strike where the iron is hot. I don't listen. I love me some JSN. He's a Buckeye. He had a great year. But if we're counting down the top wide receivers in the league, do you put him that high? Were you paying the highest? But the problem is that he has the leverage and he knows it. You drafted me. You let Tyler Lockett go. You traded DK Metcalf to put me in this position to do this, and then I did it. So,
Yeah,
off not paying them, you got to get them in.
Yeah.
And they know.
Yeah. It's all about leverage at this juncture, and you're going to, like you said, get your money, Jason. You deserve it, man, because like Rob said, you hit, man. You were a great receiver. Man, people try to stop you, and he balled out, like you said. So get your money. So I'm with that. Rob, good stuff. JQ, how would you retool the Bengals around Joe Burrow?
I said it. I would, if Dalton Risner, they picked him up from Minnesota, I would re-sign him. I would try to look around like he just got cut by the Commanders, their center. I would kick the tires on him. You got to pick a strategy. I think I would try to find me an offensive lineman because I don't think at 10 there's going to be one worth picking at 10 that's going to move the needle like that because everybody from Miami is going to already be gone. I think everybody's got him going to the Cardinals now in my drafts. So if I'm the Bengals, I'm going to try to get at least offensive lineman in free agency, and I'm going to take all that draft capital, spend it on the defense.
Nice. There it is.
Well, Tyler Linderbaum, center from Baltimore.
He's going to be too expensive.
Yeah.
Biadasz? I think his name is Biadasz.
The top of, yeah. So
Yeah.
Linderbaum is going to be the top offensive lineman free agent.
Yeah. Since they had the same problem that Baltimore is going to have because they're going to extend Lamar and make him the highest paid quarterback, they aren't going to be able to do both, which is why he's going to hit free agency. This is going to be the same problem the Bengals have in paying Burrow and T and Jamar. So you're going to have to find you some singles and some doubles, right, along that offensive line, and then in the free agency, and then I think I go all defense because he was still doing that with the offensive line. He was still putting up 30, 35 points with the offensive line we have today. It was just that defense was giving up 40. So get some studs on defense and to balance that thing out. They don't have to be a top 10 defense, top 5. They could be 17, 18.
They got to be middle of the pack.
It's all.
All he needs is a defense that can get just a couple of stops a game.
Arena football, just give you a couple stops. The offense is fantastic.
Yep.
With that line, that's so maligned.
What game was that? Was Jamar Chase walked into the locker room with just one effing stop?
Yeah,
that's it. Hey, I want to do some quick things. Mad Max is back in Toronto. Man, 41 signed a 1-year, $3 million deal with $10 million in incentives. I think he's chasing 3,500 strikeouts. I think he's 11th right now. Montreal Expos. I'm just joking. Yeah, good luck for Max, man. What happened to Expos, man? Damn. I just thought about
Washington Nationals now.
I know. I just thought, man, the Expos, man. I just thought, when I think of Toronto and all that, you get
I got my Pete Rose Expos jersey upstairs.
Man, the Canadian teams, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you go back to a team that made it to the World Series. I mean,
Yeah. Good
I'm not
move.
mad at it.
Good
He
move.
looked around with that talent and it's like, why not us to make another run again? I mean, it's always hard to go back again if you're not the damn Dodgers spending all the money, but good for him. It's hard to come back, man. He got time to hang out with them kids next year.
Yeah. Hey, is this something that I want to talk about this too? We'll talk about really quickly at Tennessee for the first time. The Lady Vols are not ranked, but isn't it crazy that Cincinnati sues Brandon Sorsby $1 million for a breach in contract, saying that he broke a 2-year NIL commitment that he signed in 2025? I think that's very interesting. What about that? What say you?
Listen, I love me some Lady Vols too. I was a Pat Summitt fan. That hurts me for them not to be ranked. And it's just the same thing with Duke and Mesa in Miami. Like, dude, you signed a deal. So they're gonna probably find some way to sell out of court for somewhere, $750,000. They probably won't get all $1 million, but they'll figure something out. The same way that Duke and Mesa figure something out so he can go to Miami. It's the same situation. I just find it hilarious that Texas Tech is doing the same thing at quarterback they did last year. They might make the playoffs and get bounced again with subpar play at quarterback. Listen, God bless them. I hope they suck.
Tell me how you really feel, JQ.
I said it.
Yeah.
Suck.
Well, Texas Tech is going to be a player in the NIL game for quite some time, man. That school's got a lot of oil money for sure. And, nobody wanted to go to Lubbock, Texas until they could start paying players, right? And, but now that they can pay players, they're going to be a school.
You know why? Because you're getting paid. You can get the hell up out of Lubbock when you feel like it.
Yeah.
It's just.
You won't want to go once they get that other stoplight in there.
Listen, it's one thing to be broke in Lubbock. It's another thing to be paid in Lubbock. Because you broke in Lubbock, you're stuck. When you paid in Lubbock, you get on the plane, get out of there.
This is interesting. I don't like the precedent
It's
that
true.
you're setting. The precedent is like, you keep getting away with like murder because if you sign these NIL deals, this is what you're supposed to do. Then, look, I'm gonna breach the contract and the school's gonna cover it. Oh, we'll pay it or whatever. So this is, I kind of agree. I'm kind of like, man, it kind of sucks, Brandon. You can suck it, man. But it's just not. We'll see how everything plays out, man. I'm kind of curious how this happens in the future too, because everyone's gonna start breaching all these contracts, man. I think it's terrible. What last things you guys will talk about? Because I did not want to take all this time with the show. I know we wanted to jump back into some details as far as Stanton for the Yankees for you guys, for Rob and Gary. You want to talk about that?
Rob,
Carlo.
Well, obviously he's battling some elbow injuries right now, right? And it's tough. I mean, Yankees are going to need him healthy if they're going to have any shot to, go far this year. He's in his middle 30s right now, right? You got Bellinger, you got Aaron Judge, but you need Stanton. I mean, Jazz Chisholm had a really good year on last year too, right? But
yeah,
we know when Juan Carlos Stanton is healthy, man, he's a Bronx Bomber for sure, right? So they got to figure out a way to get him healthy. I don't think he's going to play much here in spring training. I mean, like I said, they got to get him healthy.
No, he can't even open a can of soda.
They said that he arrived at camp.
That's what he said. He says it's too painful for him to open a can of soda.
That's not good. They said I thought they said he came to camp leaner than ever, trying to focus on mobility or trying to stay out of the DH hole. But that's what I was reading. I don't know. Maybe he was trying to trick us or something like that. But all good. What do you think about Tony Bennett to the Lakers, JQ? I saw that. I was like, what? Draft advisor. Let's go.
Listen, if they don't play no defense, I don't give a damn when Pat Riley come back up and to go coach the Lakers. It ain't gonna matter.
I thought you liked that.
You got to be able to, like we just talked about before at the Bengals, at some point you got to be able to get a stop. Listen, man, hey, how about getting a couple stops in a row? Like, you got to be able to play some defense, and until they're able to do that, it's not going to matter, bro.
Yeah.
Period.
And Tony Bennett was one of the best defensive coaches in college basketball.
Yeah, he was.
For a long, long time.
Yep.
And they may need to hire him as either a head coach or an assistant coach to help them with the defensive schemes.
I remember the great Adam Morrison from Gonzaga. He said the best defense was the best offense, the better offense. Somebody said I'm gonna outscore you. That's what he said. Adam
That's why his
Morrison.
ass is which way
Who
he is.
said that?
Right.
Adam Morrison from Gonzaga.
But you know, yeah, I tell people all the time, man, basketball is a game. Man, if you got some elite defenders, it's going to create extra possessions. I mean, that leads to easy baskets on the other end. I mean, that's what you guys. That's why Scottie Pippen was so successful with the Bulls. He has such these long arms. He got all these deflections and got Michael Jordan in the open floor. You see that with Jalen Williams with the OKC right now, right? When he's healthy, he's been hurt a lot this season. But basketball's games, you get some elite defenders on your team that get a lot of deflections and steals and blocks. That transitions to easy points on the other end. Those kind of players you want.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, gentlemen. Like I said, that's all I wanted. Unless there's anything else you wanted to hit on, I wanted to just get to some quick topics and have a good show tonight, man. It's been a crazy situation. We know that spring training's been going on right now. It's been good to see some of that. Combine is going down, and we'll see what's going to happen as far as with a couple situations for the quarterback position. So I am curious to see legitimately what happens with a couple of situations like Kyler Murray. What's going to happen with that? They want to get him off the books before that March 15th situation because we don't want anything to do with that. So that's kind of the deadline coming up pretty soon. If you will. But I'm curious to talk about where's he going to go, man. Where like you're going to go from one dysfunctional situation to the Jets, situation. That's just as bad, man. Come on, man. So
there's a lot of interesting when you talk about the quarterback position. Kyler Murray, Malik Willis, Kirk Cousins, Tua. Is Derek Carr coming out of retirement? I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers. Right?
Yeah.
So I mean, there's still a lot of moving parts. It's gonna be interesting to see where
Steelers,
all these people
Browns. This is JQ's division. Who's gonna be the quarterbacks? Because you got situations right there. Don't effing tell me Mason Rudolph or who's it? Mitchell Trubisky, whatever the hell you trying to sell me. What the hell? Come on, man.
Well, they drafted Will Howard, and I hated that, but it's one of those things too. It's like the same thing we talked about with Raleigh Leonard with the Colts. If you drafted Will Howard, what did you draft Will Howard to be? Right.
Backup.
That's what it's looking like because we don't even mention it. Nobody mentions him being a potential starter anytime soon for them. I'm just also you talk about it. Joe Flacco plays a really good ball for the Bengals when he got to
Joe Flacco.
I like Flacco for the Falcons, but that's what I would like.
And does anybody give San Francisco any draft capital for Mac Jones because he kept San Francisco afloat when Brock Purdy was hurt?
Yeah, Shanahan said they're not trading him, but I know that could change.
Yeah, listen, draft capital talks, but I just feel like we need to add that into the conversation because he's one of those guys that he go to San Francisco a la Sam Darnold and rehab his career and go somewhere else and take off. So that's another one I'm looking.
That's the route to go. Go to San Francisco, learn how to be a quarterback, man, because that's apparently what happens.
It seems like it.
Or so you can even talk about that.
Gary don't want to hear that.
Yeah, Gary don't want to hear none of that. Or go to the Rams because the Rams seem to have a good situation.
I mean, I'm okay with that. Learn how to be a quarterback in San Francisco.
But if the Jets, do you run it back?
I know you don't like Shanahan. That's why I say you don't want to hear that.
Yeah. You didn't say learn how to win a Super Bowl. You said learn how to be a quarterback. I mean,
that's true. That's true. But like I said, do you run it back with Tyrod Taylor if you're the Jets? I mean, because what the hell is up with that?
No.
Justin Fields. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just asking these questions, man. Obviously. Damn, man, I'm on fire. I'm just asking a question. I'm not trying to stir it up. You can always have Carson Beck.
Okay. All right. Let's wrap up the show.
DB.
Okay, wrap it up, Rob.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back on next week. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Talking Sports with the 12th man. I don't think we talked about what night it's going to be, but stay tuned. Follow us on Talking Sports with the 12th man Facebook page, and we will keep you posted on when we're on next week. We want to hear from y'all from New York to LA, from Portland to Miami to Charlotte. Where else? Fresno, JQ's favorite city.
Albuquerque,
guys.
Albuquerque, right, JQ?
Yeah.
Gary, we can't hear you, JQ. What happened?
Say what?
Can't hear you. What'd you say? We couldn't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, now good.
Oh, I said if you want to see me and my speckles next week on the show, it's got to be Tuesday because I'm working the women's ACC tournament
There it is.
Wednesday to Sunday.
All right, there it is. About to
We
be
can make
11
it
o'clock.
happen if y'all want to do
11 o'clock.
Tuesday. Mhm.
Gary thinks he's slick. He posted something about the Cowboys about Michael Irvin. Just don't let that go on Facebook too. Just want to let you guys know that.
I wanted him with the belt, though. I would prefer him with the belt.
He's like the most receiving yards in playoff history. Michael Irvin, #1. I was like, look at Gary trying to like post that. We saw you. I see you. I see you over there.
I don't know how that popped up there. Just
I bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would prefer the
There.
it was an accident. Really by accident. Leon.
Gary thinks he's slick, man. Listen to Talking Sports. Oh, check this nice little feature about Michael Irvin. Nah, yeah. But good stuff. I would prefer him to like run around, have a picture of him or a video of him running around the stadium after a Miami victory. That makes my heart proud to see Michael Irvin running around, very jacked up, if you will, and the belt. But I digress. Gentlemen, have a fantastic evening. Get some rest. We'll see you same time, same channel next week. Be good.